David, you were right in at half time. What do
Yep.
you feel went wrong second half, third quarter?
Oh, well, I think Carlton probably tried to get it through the corridor. We thought we'd protected that not too bad in the second quarter, but we just didn't defend the ground as well in that third quarter. Centre bounces seemed to be a bit of an issue for us for the night. You know, they scored 30 points, had 9 shots out of that CB, which has normally been one of our staples this year. And yeah, they probably retained possession, you know, for us, and we didn't work probably hard enough to get it back at that point in time.
Disappointing the way it happened, obviously. It all
Yeah.
quickly, I guess.
Oh, look, yeah, well, we came here to win. There's no doubt. We wanted to win the game. You know, 3 quarters again. You know, I think there's been probably for us been a step forward from the previous couple of weeks. You know, one of the challenges for us was to really get into the game when the heat's in the kitchen. You know, I think 20 minutes into the second quarter we're even. We go in Golden a bit off. Yeah, felt the players are ready to come back out. And look, there's an opposition that wants to step up the tempo, put some bigger bodies, and they got hold of the ball. And yeah, then we were into that cycle of chasing the game again.
What's the messaging like internally at the moment? How are you sort of keeping the morale up within the club?
Oh, pretty easily. Like we know exactly where we're at. We know the things that we're chasing to improve. We've got a young group. You have a look at, you know, we lost Aidan Core before the game, and Miller Bergman made his debut. You saw us with what we had to do with Aidan Bonner and Josh Walker. You know, I thought they were gallant in trying to continue to defend. We tried to put a ruckman back. I still think there's a lot of positives that came out of our game. You know, as I said, quarter 1, 2, and 4. Not that you don't get any points for that, but you know the essence of what we're trying to continue to build and grow. I think our contested ball was in a better position tonight. You know, our ground ball was -3, contested ball -5. So I think the battle I think tonight was heaps better for us. The intent and the way that we battled for that ball. They're really efficient out the back, aren't they? You know, defensive end. They chain that ball out that defensive side, and they've got those mechanisms going really well.
What was Bonner's reaction when you told him he was playing a big Harry tonight?
Oh, look, he just loves a challenge. You know, that's what I love about Aidan. He's a bit like Kane Turner. You know, you can sort of say. I mean, we brought him on forward a couple of weeks ago out of the Medi sub, and it's just like, yep, I'll go to work. So, yeah, I thought they were brave. You know, in trying to defend. So, it wouldn't matter which one you went to. They're both pretty tall. Those two guys.
You mentioned Bergman before. Disappointing to see him
Yeah.
go off with the injury. How's he going?
Yeah, it looks like it's a dislocation. Hopefully it's not a bad one. Popped back in, I think, pretty well, but we'll just have to wait and see. But he's been going really well. The area that we've liked with Miller is he plays his role really well. It's clean with the ball, good decision maker, and uses it well going forward. So, yeah, it was disappointing for him to finish in that manner so quickly.
You got more debutants on the horizon?
Yeah, possibly. We might have another one or two. I think, you know, Matty McGuinness has been going pretty well through there. Josh Goda unfortunately got concussed today, so he won't be you know, in that consideration. So Phillips had another game under his belt today. Tom Powell had another game, probably didn't play as well as maybe he had done last week. So yeah, and Jed got through.
On the ruck situation, obviously Tristan is out for a little while. And Todd sort of had a bit more of a senior role again today. How does that sort of look for the next month or so whilst Tristan's out?
Probably the same. Like I thought, getting CJ back in to that tempo again is what we needed to probably try and explore. We'd been discussing that internally amongst the 3 rucks, you know, to sort of say, look, we're keen to play 2, but we probably need to get CJ some AFL game time. The step between the VFL and the AFL now has grown. It's grown significantly. So I think CJ's second half is probably not too bad. He just needs to get more time under his belt at AFL level because of the speed and the intensity of the game. Yeah, look, I thought Todd gave us a great start in there tonight. Stepped into the breach. But that doesn't mean that we wouldn't necessarily start CJ next week. I think it's a bit horses for courses for us. But yeah, we'll stick with the 2 rucks for sure.
And how did Todd approach that initially? Obviously, the conversations would have happened over pre-season. How was he, I guess, in helping guide these younger guys into the main role?
Yeah, look, really good. I think 2 things. I think that that mentoring that he's been able to do with those guys. They work as a team. Jacob Edwards does a bit of work with those three as well. Charlie Comben does a little bit of forward and ruck from that side of things. But I think Todd has embraced the role forward really well. But tonight we sort of said, look, we need you back in the middle. We need you to give us a first start. And I thought he stepped up really well.
That gap between the VFL and AFL, how big a concern is that?
Yeah, it's a bit. Yeah, it's a bit. Well, so the problem is particularly for those younger guys, to get the games into them to make sure that they're absolutely ready to go. I think, I think Paul Curtis was better again tonight because he actually had the tempo and the understanding from last week, which we know you don't get until you expose those guys. We talk about playing at AFL speed. Sometimes that's quite hard to do at VFL level. The ball's not as reliable. It doesn't get delivered as well. The systems are a bit slower. The execution sometimes is a little bit more off. So, trying to get our guys to play with a higher intensity and urgency at a VFL level is tricky. It's really tricky.
Do you think that's a COVID lockdown sort of knock-on, that there just hasn't been consistent VFL footy?
Yeah, I'm not sure. We probably haven't talked about it in that manner. I mean, we were lucky enough to play some games last year, although they were sort of hybrid and they were 14 aside. They probably weren't great. Not sure, but I just think currently at the moment it's just where the competition is. We've got we're almost national at VFL. I mean, we took a bunch of top ups with our AFL guys up to Brisbane a couple of weeks. Brisbane had a pretty strong list, and we got a bit of a touch up. So it's just it's what it is. We just got to make it work.
Nick Larkey had a little tunnelling incident in the third quarter. What did you make of that?
Well, I'd rather retain the ball and have a shot on goal. I think we got it downfield. I don't know. I'd have to have a look at the replay. I don't know whether. Obviously the umpire felt it was intentional. So we got reversed. We missed that shot on. But I think we were chasing the game at that point. I don't think that was an incident that shifted the game. I think we were already 5 or 6 goals. They'd come out and jumped us fairly quickly. But look, the discipline is just something we're just going to have to address internally again.
Doesn't get much easier next week going over to Perth. What do you want to see out of your team?
Oh, we like going to Perth.
They are in decent form.
There they are.
But what do you want to see from your guys?
We're going to keep coming. We're going to keep moving forward. We're going to continue to improve our defence. Our contest, we think, is starting to become a little bit more reliable. I thought we found some avenues to attack tonight. We probably had a couple of early misses that may have put a bit more scoreboard pressure on us. So we're going to continue to learn. We're going to continue to get better. And we're going to continue to fight our games. So I don't know if there's any easy ones, at the moment. So, but look, I think our group embraces taking on the best because you learn quickly and you can move forward and you can grow. So that will be the essence of what we'll do next week. We'll pick out the avenues, the areas that we liked from this week, like we did last week against the Cats, and we'll continue to push to get better. That's a guarantee, and our members can be assured that we're working our backsides off to continue to make this group better each week.
Paul Francis is a guy who hasn't spent as much time any time in the VFL. He's made that transition, looks like, pretty easily. Seemed like he's took another step tonight, especially early on. Yeah, well, see, he's played 2 years of senior footy though. Compared to a Paul Curtis or a Miller Bergman, they came into pre-season. They played 8 games in 2 years, both of those guys. So it's an unbelievable effort for those guys, and we're not the only club. For those guys to make their debut at senior men's footy coming out of 18's, a limited number over the 2 years. But Jace has been in, a rigorous men's program for a couple of years, so that's why we felt, early on he had the physicality, he had the understanding, and I think he continues to get better each week. There are things that we're seeing each and every week. He's clean with the ball, he loves competing, they're the aspects that we like about his game. Cool. Thanks, guys.
Thanks.